Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah, Phillip. I'm joined by Brandon Tanguma and Marlee. What's going on, guys?
Sup,
That time of
as the
year.
only, I guess, healthy one here, I will talk so much, much more than I normally do. I never
Oh,
am
God.
long-winded, but I guess I have to be long-winded on this episode.
Godspeed, Godspeed. Yeah. It's already starting. Survivor Series recap. Brandon, go to it.
Well, it's a Survivor Series recap. Sorry, War Games recap. And, since we have two War Games matches, we have to start off with one. And we had the women's War Games match of what I mean, they didn't have like special names, but you know who's in it. All the baby faces, all the heels. For some reason, because the baby faces started the match, or yeah, the baby faces had the advantage. Nia Jax, they decided to have Nia Jax wrestle the entire match to somewhat, even out the odds. And that was a decision. It wasn't a good decision, but a decision nonetheless. And the baby faces do win with a pinfall because submit and surrender apparently isn't a thing anymore. And Rhea Ripley puts Liv Morgan through a table, pins her 1, 2, 3, and there you go. I thought this match was just not great. And the epitome of why you should not have two War Games matches because it was just a bunch of spots and weapons for the sake of spots and weapons.
What do you mean? Didn't you hear the pop when Rhea took off her mask?
Well, it was the opening match, so usually the crowd is going to be hot and pop for everything. And I think that also hurts
That's not true.
the men's War Games match later in the day or later in the night when you're having these weapon spots and the crowd's already seen it. They're a little bit numb to it. And I don't think it gives it that extra oomph that it could have.
but it's the bloodline. You should pop for all of the bloodline.
Well, I mean, it was a Canadian crowd, so I would say that crowd kind of sucked, but that's just me.
The fact that we didn't have the Canadian Dream on this show in Canada, a travesty. Marlee, what are your thoughts on the women's War Games match?
It was fun, but it could have been better because there were a lot of spots for the sake of having spots, but it just looked like everybody was having fun, at least in my opinion. They're just kind of just felt like all the storylines were thrown together in one match because you got the Rhea and Liv stuff and then the Nia Tiffany in the spot where Tiffany almost cashed in. It's kind of just like that was not the time or place to tease it, in my opinion, because it's like you got kind of other big things going on.
Not
The
even that,
whole
just
war,
how would it work?
yeah, you got a whole War Games match going on, but not the time or place. But the spot with Tiffany and Io, the moonsault, that was pretty cool.
Very
But other than
nice of
that,
Tiffany to wait that entire time. So then they synchronized their jumps off the top of the cage. That was very, very cute of them.
Well,
yeah,
Tiffy don't do nothing ugly. Everything got to be pretty. Come on now.
yeah, it was fun. Just a spot fest. It could have been better, but I think it was just for the sake of everybody knew what was coming for the main event. That was kind of just like, here you go.
Yeah, again, I still believe they could have had a traditional Survivor Series match with the ladies, but it's neither here nor there. They went out there, they took care of the business. They got to where they needed to get to. Rhea Ripley pins the women's world champion, so I'm sure she's going to be expecting a title shot somewhere in the near future. Looking past what you call it, Saturday night's main event. Next match on the card.
We had the U.S. title match, LA Knight taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. This one was relatively quick, under 10 minutes, and Shinsuke Nakamura is your new United States champion. Shinsuke, relatively new on the scene, debuts with his Anakin Skywalker / Great Muta look, and he beats LA Knight in a okay match. It was more of the story of kind of putting over Nakamura. They said that LA Knight was rattled, which is why he, blew the jumping to the top rope spot, which he never rarely hits perfectly, and he dropped the title on his way to the ring. So we're just gonna definitely those were all real, and they were not covering for him. That's all planned.
Yes, everything counts in this day and age. Do you not watch the product? Everything counts.
Everything counts.
Congratulations to Shinsuke, three-time US champ. Listen, hopefully he doesn't get shoot pinned in his first defense like he did the last time he was US champion. Which led our truth to have a lengthy run. Listen, Shinsuke needed this. If there was a title to change hands on this show, it needed to be this one in this match. You can't just have Shinsuke come back and lose and lose and lose. So kudos to him. Glad he's finally got something. And LA Knight, he's great at the chase. The babyface is always great at the chase. So let's see what happens with this and moving forward. Marlee.
I honestly think that spot could have went to Carmelo and Andrade because what was the point of the best of the seven if neither of them really succeeded in getting a title shot? But
Well, they
congrats to
did.
Shinsuke.
They they got a title shot in Saudi.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have had anybody else. I mean, we've seen Shinsuke win the U.S. title before, so it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all right. It's just something we've seen twice before, so it's like, eh.
Something we haven't seen twice before is this triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship: Braun Breaker, Ludwig Kaiser, and Sheamus. Yeah.
Yeah, went 14-25. Braun Breaker retains, pinning Sheamus, which I think I said it last week. That was the pick I would have made of having Sheamus take the pinfall here. And this was, I think, my favorite match of the night. Not exactly close. Just, fast, hard hitting, fast paced action for nearly 15 minutes. It was a good time, even though the finish, or at least who was going to win, walk out with the title, was never really in doubt.
Marlee, what are your thoughts?
I feel like we could have gave Sheamus his Grand Slam, but it was a decent match.
Yeah, yeah. There was at one point, I think before like a ref got pulled or something, like like people sounded like they would have been okay with it.
Yeah,
No,
it would have been better if Sheamus got his Grand Slam, but I'm not mad at the outcome. I'm not mad at the match because all three of them put on a really great performance.
I
I'm
mean,
really impressed by Ludwig Kaiser as of late. Like he's really proving himself outside of Gunther, to me at least. But yeah, no, I enjoyed this triple threat.
if Sheamus is gonna win it, I feel like make it a singles contest. Give him and Braun or whoever the champ is, give him 15 minutes. I'm talking bell to bell, not just entrances. 15 minutes bell to bell, and let them just go. But
Let them
this
squabble up,
absolutely. I mean, this was fun. This was incredibly fun. Braun Breaker, just a dog. Roof, 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 roof.
eat.
Yeah, definitely
Wait,
leading into that quote unquote tweener role that everyone keeps saying since he's, I guess a heel outside the ring, but when he wrestles, he's much more like a babyface.
wait. I really need Braun Breaker and Jameis Winston in a room together,
Well, Phillip
having
doesn't
like
know who that is. He doesn't observe our king, Jameis Winston.
he doesn't get it. I
Who
don't
was
even watch
that?
football. Oh, you have to see the clip. You have to see the clip.
Somebody send me the clip. Somebody.
Sidebar, I got
I
you.
mean, there's too many Jameis Winston clips. We'd be here all day. We were on a 40-minute strict 40-minute time limit, and
I
we'd just
got
be here all day watching Jameis clips.
I got to find the specific one. But yeah, him and Braun Breaker in a room. I would love to hear that conversation.
While Marley searches for this clip, there was a world title defense. Am I correct?
That's what I've been told, and it was Gunther taking on Damian Priest. Gunther has allegedly lost all of his aura, but he continues to win. He beats Priest here in 1920, really heavily on the shoulder injury, quote unquote, of Damian Priest, selling it in kind of like three different instances where he thought he was like legit hurt, and he stumbles to the outside, hurts his shoulder, pops it out or whatever, and Finn Balor comes in out of nowhere, hits the coup de Gracie, and Gunther hits a power bomb and pins Priest for the win. I thought it was a fine match, nothing like special. Just kind of like what we've seen now with Priest in these kind of world title matches. They're fine.
Was it better than SummerSlam?
I mean, I think you could say it's like very similar to SummerSlam, where they have like some decent action, and then Finn gets involved at the last second. So I think they're very comparable in almost the same type of
Was
match.
the action better than SummerSlam, or was it just the same?
I mean, I've only watched that match once when it was live. And I think in the moment, I mean, if you go back to my recap, I was not high on SummerSlam, but I think I liked that match probably more than many of the other matches, but it also tapped into the theme of the night, which was terrible finishes on a major show, which wasn't the case here. We got what pretty much clean finishes outside of this one.
Yeah,
Good job, everybody.
yeah. 1 out of 5. Marley, you have any thoughts on this?
It was very similar to the SummerSlam match. I didn't really notice any difference. We kind of just ran it back.
Well, we're gonna be getting to something a little different as Saturday night's main event. We'll talk about that here in a second. Dun, 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 dun. The main event: Bloodline versus OG Bloodline.
Featuring CM Punk and Bronson Reed.
Yes, big Bronson Reed. How did you feel about the little NFL gimmick that they did? Tsunami State, huh? And
I mean, it was very gimmicky.
University.
It was almost. I mean, it's if you've seen the Key and Peele sketch, it basically sounded like that, which is making fun of those.
From I Love You Solo. Got my degree in prayer hands.
Oh boy, prayer hands. Yeah, he has a prayer hands doctorate, PhD. Come on now, don't stop playing with big O's. But the match.
The match, it was a long one, 41 minutes, 55 seconds. It was interesting just based off entrances because, politically just how they played that up. Jay is the last person entered because he, comes through the crowd and stuff like that. Was it Jay taking on Tama Tonga to start, and then they went through the match. Very melodramatic, which would be kind of the theme for a lot of Roman Reigns and Bloodline stuff, with Roman and Punk kind of eyeing each other up. The whole, oh no, you're not gonna go, you're gonna go. Okay, Roman's gonna slowly step out of the cage, but then CM Punk just runs right by him and gets out, and kind of some of the forced drama or forced tension I thought was a little bit over the top. And then we get the War Games matches, which you need to get every single match of, one team on one ring, another team on the other ring, and then they collide in the middle and they fight and throw hands wildly and stuff. And I think we should probably stop in every company and every type of match of jumping off of the top of the cage. Edge broke his leg. Jimmy apparently broke his toe, and Bronson Reed shattered his ankle. So I know we've been up in the stakes recently, which let's stop, and let's also stop jumping off of cages because it does not end well.
Yeah. It's the impact coming down. I don't know if you have to tuck your legs more. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not doing any of that stuff. So yeah,
You don't even see me on the top rope, let alone the top of the cage. Second rope, maybe, but
I saw Marlee climb the top rope once.
And that once and only once.
That's a high she does not want to feel.
No.
At all. Yeah, a lot of melodramatic stuff with Punk and Roman. The wise man coming out at the very end, or when the match started or whatever. All in all, Solo took all the finishes: super kicks, haluva kicks, go to sleeps, spears. I saw Sam Roberts did a recap, and he said Solo was basically Denzel in Training Day. King Kong ain't got nothing on me or whatever.
He might have been Denzel in Gladiator too.
The single tier?
No single tier, but spoilers without context.
Come on now. Yeah, so that happened, and then Paul Heyman embraces with CM Punk, and Punk says, when it's time, I'm going to call in on that favor. CM Punk and Roman Reigns shake hands, so still a lot is going to be going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match itself overall was good, total story. I thought, the baked-in spots you're always going to get with WWE War Games matches are kind of what they are right now. I thought the melodramatic stuff of Punk and Roman was a little bit much, but overall I thought they told a nice story. And the CM Punk Roman dynamic is interesting, much better than what they would have done with Seth Rollins. I don't think they're going to blow this right away, but I think a Punk Roman match is definitely on the horizon, but it's going to be far away. Maybe next year SummerSlam.
You think they're final two in the Rumble?
Maybe. Well, the internet's or booking sites say The Rock is the favorite to win the match, but then other people are saying Rock's not even going to be there. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that favor Punk is asking for is probably going to be for Paul Heyman to side with Roman over Roman eventually when they meet down the line.
Let's see. We shall see. Overall grade for Survivor Series War Games 2024. Marlee.
B minus.
I gotta agree. I give it a B minus as well. Action was fine. There was nothing terrible.
Not bad. Could have been better.
Women's War Games match was not great. Men's War Games match was decent, and then I like the triple threat match. I think by far of everything else.
Yeah, I think that's been the kind of the general conception of the show, that the three-way dance for the IC title kind of stole the show. I'll give it a B minus as well. It was fine. Could have been better.